Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And today, for a few minutes, I want to talk to you all about a wide receiver that we haven't really been talking about. And I'm talking about Tre'Quan Smith. Now, the reason I want to talk about Tre'Quan Smith is because a few minutes ago, I read an article, I think it was from Who Dat Dish, and they were talking about how the return of Tre'Quan Smith could affect the historic run that Michael Thomas is on. Now, for those that don't know, Michael Thomas is on pace to break Marvin Harrison's single season reception record, which is, I think, like 145 or 146 receptions or something like that. So, I mean, he's on pace to break that. And they feel like because Tre'Quan Smith will return, it's going to take away some of the targets that Michael Thomas was getting. Michael Thomas is, doing some incredible work right now. I think he has like 73 receptions off 89 targets, which is like 82%. That's a NFL record. So he's catching balls at an alarming rate. And I got to tell you right now, this article, I can't say that I agree with it, because the fact of the matter is when Tre'Quan Smith was in a game, he barely did anything at all. I think about what has Tre'Quan Smith done this season before he got hurt, and he's done absolutely nothing. I think the only thing I can think about Tre'Quan Smith did is when he got that wide receiver screen and he took it about 25 yards, and that's how he ended up getting hurt in the Rams game. Tre'Quan Smith has been a big disappointment. I just got to call it for what it is. Ever since he got drafted in the third round out of Central Florida, I watched him while he was in college. He was really good in college. He had good speed. He had good route running abilities. He had to improve on the route running, but he really hasn't done anything, and he has been really disappointing. And the only big game he ever had was against the Philadelphia Eagles. Excuse me. Against the Philadelphia Eagles when he had over 150 yards receiving. That was the best game he ever played. I don't think that he's going to affect Michael Thomas' historic record because, he hasn't done anything. And it's been very, very disappointing because the New Orleans Saints, they need somebody that can complement Michael Thomas. They need somebody down the stretch because teams are starting to buckle down, and teams are going to start looking at film, and they're going to start doubling, even triple covering Michael Thomas. And some of these wide receivers, again, are going to have to win their one-on-one matchups. And if you're not winning your one-on-one matchups, it can be an issue, okay? It's only so many times you can check it down to Alvin Kamara. It's only so many times you can check it on down, to Zach Line. It's only so many times you can do that type of stuff and think that it's going to be effective. Teams are going to see what you're doing. So the Saints need somebody that can complement Michael Thomas, and hopefully it can be Tre'Quan Smith. Now, I don't think he's going to come back against the Atlanta Falcons, which shows me and that injury that he sustained, a high ankle sprain, I think is much more than that, because even though you have a high ankle sprain, he hasn't played since the Rams game. So I think that the New Orleans Saints really need Tre'Quan Smith to get back on the field and really be who they drafted him to be. He has to go out there and he has to perform better. But I don't think that it's going to affect Michael Thomas, because Michael Thomas is going to continue to do what he's been doing. Michael Thomas has a knack of getting open. He's not the fastest person in the world, but he has elite route running skills. He's tough. He's big. He's physical. At the end of his routes, if you ever watch Michael Thomas run routes, it's a thing of beauty. And I think that he's going to continue to catch passes at a historic rate because of who he is. But Tre'Quan Smith, when he does come back, he's definitely going to need to step up. And to be honest with you, as much as I would like for Michael Thomas to break this record that held by one of my favorite wide receivers of all time, if not Marvin Harrison, as much as I want him to do that, I wouldn't be mad if that means that Tre'Quan Smith is out here balling out of control. And I think everybody in the Who Dat Nation would agree with that also. But I would like to hear from you. Do you think that Tre'Quan Smith coming back is going to affect Michael Thomas' historic run? What do you expect to see out of Tre'Quan Smith when he returns? And what are your thoughts about Tre'Quan Smith? Comment down below, like and share this video. Once again, my name is TJ Jones, and this is the State of the Saints podcast. Tune in to Every single day, I try to do a little something about the Saints. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. And if you're looking at this on Facebook, facebook.com, search State of the Saints podcast. Please follow the page. Thank you very much. And like always, all I got to say is, who dat?